Diddly-o, diddle up and down, diddly-o, diddle up and down, diddly-o, diddle up and down, diddly-o, diddle lay down, diddly-o, diddle up and down, diddly-o.
What's up, everybody? A little bit of an update and just some info today. Had those couple of test batches now. The Smreka, or however you pronounce it, the birch sap I'm fermenting with the juniper berries, is doing quite well, actually. I read somewhere before, I don't know if it's the case, but there's a lot of nutrients in the birch sap that yeast sort of tend to like. So I'm thinking that might be something to do with it, but pretty impressed. That's the good news. Bad news, Dr. Pepper doesn't seem to be enjoying the yeast too much. Through a discussion I had on Canadian homebrewers here a little while ago, someone brought up the fact that the pH is quite high, or quite low, sorry. Said some people kind of estimated it at 2.9 for a typical soda. So I don't know if that's something to do with it, but time will tell. I'm going to let it ride for another day, just to see how it's going, and after that is either chalked up to a loss or where it's an enclosed vessel and this should be okay. I may try to do something with it to change the pH to get it closer to around a 5-ish or whatever I feel might work a little better, and try again. Like I harvest my own yeast, and I do have like a good supply there for the repitch. And I don't need very much for that amount, right? It's only a little less than 2 liter test batch today. In case anyone's wondering where I am, this will be the future home brewery. I'm about to fixer-upper house, and this is the last room to really get looked at for regards of like my space. But the plans are I'm going to be having my fermentation chamber over that way. I'll show you at a later point because I need to do some work there first to get it presentable. Plus, I want to keep the camera a little bit more stable today, and like some advice the people gave is good advice. So, my plans for the firm chamber, I'll just give you a little visualization. I have a mess sink to my right here, and just past that, I have a linen closet. And I'm going to be facing a little mini fridge I picked up for 30 bucks into that direction, and building a little housing there with some 2-inch blue styrofoam insulation. And I'm hoping to have enough room in that closet for about 3 fermenters. I have a Inkbird controller here presently that was provided to me. I really appreciate that from the people on Inkbird. If you ever do find this video, it's doubtful it's the size of YouTube, but appreciate it, guys. Thanks, Human Zoo. And as well, for my heating source, I'm not going to go with brew belts. I'm actually going to use an incubator light. I figured I'd get something that would take care of the whole area. It won't take very much to heat that, and it would be a replaceable, fixable thing if anything would go wrong, which very little will go wrong with a incubator, like infrared heat light, right? So that's the plan there. Also, behind me, you won't be able to see now because I'm not going to move it. There's a heater that won't be used down here. The basement's pretty good temperature, but I don't know if it's going to work. I'm going to talk to a couple of people and just bounce the idea off them, but I think I'm going to save myself a lot of wiring and put a range outlet on the wire for that heater. Where it's not really being used, so I can put it to use, and I'll move a stove in here. And it'd be just a quick and dirty way to get me inside brewing during the winter and get me out of the kitchen. So the wife would be happy, right? And well, it's nice to have your own space. But eventually all this is going to be my organized brew space. Right now it's just kind of everywhere. What else happened around this area? We had a brew competition here in Newfoundland, New Fermenters, threw off by Kitty Vitty, good people at Kitty Vitty. Great beers coming from there lately. If anyone is lucky enough to get it on the mainland, check out some of the stuff coming through. The open saison's really good, and they have a cappuccino stout on the go, a few other great things. So just keep an eye out. Thanks Justin Fang for hosting. But that's going to be culminating in a 4-pack from our local home brew pub or brew club that's going to be made by Kitty Vitty. Winners from the competition, and it's going to be distributed throughout Newfoundland, which is pretty exciting for our club. We're pretty happy for that. Other than that, Canadian home brewers, some people may know, other people may not. We founded a just Facebook group trying to connect all clubs that we can. We're doing really well. We got 1,143 members, I think, the last time I looked, and it's growing every day. Anyway, we set up a Facebook webpage to make it a little bit more accessible because it's a closed group, to have a list of all the clubs that we know of at the moment across Canada. So if you're not a member of a home brew club and you live in Canada, check the list. There might be something close to you. And if not, join the club, and I'm sure we will be able to help you just hash out how to start your own club, because that's another option too. If it's not there, make it, right? That's why we started Canadian Home Brewers. Only other thing I have fermenting right now is my mild. I have a recipe available. I didn't do a video on that because it was for my upcoming calendar. I went live a few times. Sorry guys for anyone who gets bored with me going live. But I kind of like this stuff. I don't know why. But anyway, that was bubbling away fine. I got a couple, I think 3 or 4 days going pretty steady, and it's only a low gravity beer. So I think that might actually soon be ready for me to take a couple readings, and if the readings don't change in a couple days, I could be bottling this guy and see how it turns out. The expected alcohol on that one is 3.47, and I'm hoping it's going to be kind of complex for what's actually in there. The grain bill was only 7.5 pounds total, so it wasn't a whole lot there, and I tried to work my mash to get a little bit more body involved and just a little bit more complexity. Other than that, if you have any questions, just feel free to leave them in the comments and click subscribe and see how many people we can get watching my crazy ideas. But anyways guys, thanks for watching, and we will see you soon. Alright.